Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that might sound like it's straight out of a legal thriller or a mystery novel, the SLAT Trust. Now, I know you're probably wondering, what in the world is a SLAT Trust and why should I care? Well, you're in for a treat because we're about to break it down for you like a pro. Before you start Googling SLAT Trust, is that like a new snack or an alien species? Don't worry, I've got you covered. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what a SLAT Trust is, how it works, and why it might be a game changer for protecting your assets. So, whether you're new to trusts, an estate planning newbie, or just looking for ways to secure your family's future, grab a coffee, sit back, and let's dive deep into SLAT Trusts, the secret weapon of the ultra-wealthy. But before we get started, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with anyone who could use a little trust knowledge in their life. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. All right, let's get into it. First things first, let's break down the acronym. SLAT stands for Spousal Lifetime Access Trust. Yeah, I know, sounds a bit technical, but bear with me. The name actually tells you a lot about what it does. At its core, a SLAT is an irrevocable trust that one spouse creates for the benefit of the other spouse. It's designed to provide access to the trust assets during the lifetime of the spouse who benefits. But once the assets are transferred into the trust, they are no longer part of the couple's estate. In other words, it helps reduce estate taxes and gives your spouse access to the trust while keeping those assets out of the reach of creditors or other risks. Think of it like a gift to your spouse, but one that's a little more permanent and a lot more legally sophisticated. No returns, no exchanges, and definitely no takebacks. Here's the catch. While the assets go into the trust and are no longer part of your estate, your spouse still gets to use the assets. So if you're thinking about transferring some of your wealth, but want to keep it out of the hands of the IRS and possibly creditors, the SLAT Trust might be a perfect fit. Now that we know what a SLAT Trust is, let's talk about how it works. Because let's face it, the magic happens when you understand the process. A SLAT is typically set up by the first spouse, let's call them spouse number one, who is the creator or the grantor. Spouse number one transfers assets, like real estate, investments, or cash, into the trust. These assets are then managed by the trustee, a person or entity in charge of overseeing the trust. The key here is that the trust is irrevocable, meaning once the assets are transferred, they cannot be taken back. Here's where it gets interesting. The assets placed in the SLAT are no longer part of spouse number one's taxable estate. That means the value of those assets won't be included in calculating estate taxes when spouse number one passes away. However, the assets stay in play for the surviving spouse because they can still access them during their lifetime. So let's say spouse number one sets up the SLAT with a significant sum of money, say $1 million. After transferring this money to the SLAT, it's no longer considered part of spouse number one's estate. But guess what? Spouse number two can still access the assets. So, even though spouse number one has removed them from their estate for tax purposes, spouse number two can use that money for whatever they need, paying for medical bills, retirement, or even buying a yacht, if that's what they're into. Okay, maybe not a yacht, but you get the idea. The point is, it offers flexibility for the surviving spouse while also providing substantial tax benefits. All right, let's talk about the cool stuff. The benefits of a SLAT Trust. And trust me, there are plenty. Benefit number one, estate tax reduction. One of the biggest advantages of a SLAT Trust is its ability to help reduce estate taxes. Since the assets are no longer part of the grantor's estate, they're not subject to estate tax. This can make a huge difference if you're dealing with a large estate. We're talking about estates worth millions of dollars, where taxes can eat up a significant portion of your wealth. So if you've got more assets than you can count, like say 5,000 pairs of shoes or a really expensive collection of rare comic books, this could be your golden ticket to keeping your assets intact for the next generation. Benefit number two, protection from creditors. Another huge plus is that the assets in the trust are protected from creditors. So, if spouse number two is ever in a situation where creditors are knocking at the door, the assets in the trust are shielded. That's a pretty nice safety net. Basically, it's like putting your wealth in a secure vault that's only accessible by your spouse, but not by anyone who might want to take a piece of it. Pretty sweet, right? Benefit number 3, flexibility for the surviving spouse. The last big benefit. Your spouse still has access to the trust's assets, meaning they won't be left high and dry if something happens to you. It's kind of like being able to set up a safety net for them. And if you've been married for a while, you know that's always a good idea. Now, before you rush off to set up your SLAT trust, let's talk about some of the potential drawbacks. Because like anything in life, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Drawback number 1, irrevocability. As we mentioned earlier, the trust is irrevocable, which means once assets are transferred, you can't take them back. That might not be a huge issue if everything is going smoothly. But what if your circumstances change? What if you need access to the assets? That's a potential downside. Basically, once you hand the keys to the kingdom over, that's it. The money's in the vault, and you don't get to open it again without major legal hoops. Drawback number 2, spouse number 2's access. Remember, while spouse number 2 has access to the assets, they don't own them. That means if they ever get divorced, the assets in the SLAT are not considered part of the marital estate, but it could still cause complications in some situations. So, if you're in a rocky relationship, a SLAT might not be the best move. Trust me, the last thing you want is your spouse using your carefully structured SLAT against you in a courtroom. So there you have it, a SLAT trust. What it is, how it works, and the benefits and drawbacks you need to consider. It's a pretty powerful tool, but like any tool, you've got to know how to use it properly. If you're looking to protect your assets, reduce estate taxes, and set up a plan that provides security for your spouse, a SLAT trust might be exactly what you need. But just remember, it's not one size fits all, so make sure you're working with a skilled estate planner to make it work for you. If this video helped you out, please make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends and family who need to know about SLAT trusts. The more people who understand this stuff, the better. Thanks for tuning in today. Stay smart, stay secure, and as always, keep building that legacy. See you next time.